Doctrine and Covenants 29 is the first eschatological revelation recorded in the D&C. That is, it is the first revelation dealing with the final events of history, the end times, or the end of the world as we know it. This section is also particularly doctrinally rich, being the first revelation in the D&C to speak of the gathering of Israel, the millennium, and the post-millennial sanctification of the earth and all life on it. It's the first D&C revelation to use the term agency, to mention the premortal existence of mankind, and to speak of the fall of Satan and his angels, among others. It appears that this section was the result of rich theological discussions about a prophecy in the Book of Mormon and the content of Joseph Smith's recently begun Bible translation project. Here's the backstory. On September 26, 1830, the Second General Conference of the Church would begin at the Peter Whitmer home in Fayette, New York. Some days prior to this conference, church members began to gather to Fayette, and as they did so, conversations naturally occurred about their shared interest in the work of the Lord, including the Book of Mormon text and recent revelations regarding the Bible received by the prophet Joseph. As a group of 6 elders and 3 church members were engaged in such discussions, there arose, it appears, 2 scriptural issues which they did not fully understand and about which they could not agree. The first issue appears to have been regarding a prophecy given by Jesus Christ in the Book of Mormon during his resurrected ministry among Lehi's seed. Jesus' prophecy was this, that in the latter days the fullness of the gospel would be given to the Gentiles, that is, people not clearly of Jewish or Lehite ancestry, who would then take it to Lehi's seed and the Jews in fulfillment of the Lord's ancient promises to gather scattered Israel and to give unto them a land of inheritance. To the Jews, Jesus said, would be given the land of their forefathers, the land of Jerusalem, and to Lehi's seed would be given a land inheritance somewhere on the American continent. And those Gentiles who receive the gospel, Jesus explained, will come in unto God's covenant with Israel and be numbered among those of Lehi's seed who would receive their land inheritance in the Americas. Early church members in 1830 typically saw themselves as the Gentile converts spoken of here by Jesus, and the Native Americans as the remnant of Jacob, or Lamanites, whom they would help convert. D&C 28, received about this same time, confirmed this belief by calling Oliver Cowdery to go on a mission to the Lamanites, or Native Americans, on the western border of the United States. These church members thus understood that at some point they would unite with converted Native Americans and, together with others of the house of Israel, build the city of the New Jerusalem on the American continent as a gathering place for God's scattered people, all in preparation for Jesus to come down among them and to be in their midst, according to this prophecy. Jesus said that once his prophecy had occurred, Isaiah's words would be fulfilled, where he wrote of how God's people would come to see eye to eye when the Lord shall bring again Zion. In his introduction to section 29, John Whitmer said that these 6 elders and 3 church members understood from their reading of the scriptures that the time had come that the people of God should see eye to eye, a likely reference to this prophecy of Jesus and their feeling that it was time to be fulfilled. But was their understanding accurate? This appears to be the first issue addressed in this revelation. The second scriptural issue they saw somewhat different upon, John Whitmer said, which was the issue of the death of Adam, that is, his transgression. This question likely grew out of their awareness of the prophet Joseph's quite recent Bible translation work on this very topic. As recently as June 1830, Joseph had begun what the Lord regularly referred to as his translation of the Bible. Yet this was not Bible translation in the conventional sense of conveying into English the meaning of earlier Greek or Hebrew manuscripts. Rather, for Joseph, it was a unique form of Bible revision in which he added to, removed from, rephrased, reworked, and reframed the biblical text under divine inspiration and by prophetic authority. Joseph viewed this work as a significant branch of his calling. During the past few months, from June to that September, Joseph had been doing this form of translation work on Genesis 1 through 3 and at least part of 4, which ultimately becomes Moses 1 through 5 in our Pearl of Great Price. Moses chapter 1 was an entirely new chapter added to the biblical story which precedes Genesis 1, and which includes a remarkable account of heretofore unknown encounters of Moses with God, shortly after his divine call at the burning bush to lead Israel out of Egyptian bondage, but before he fully does so. And Moses chapters 2 to 5 parallel Genesis chapters 1 to 4, which include the account of the creation of the earth, the placing of man into the Garden of Eden, the story of the fall, and Adam and Eve's mortal experience after being driven from the garden. It was something about this issue of the death of Adam, or his transgression, in Genesis 3 and Moses 4, that these 6 elders and 3 church members differed on and sought to understand better. Therefore, John Whitmer said, they made it a subject of prayer and inquired of the Lord together with their prophet. And thus came the word of the Lord through Joseph the seer. So that's the backstory.